Welcome everybody to PDA Boxing, the boxing debate arena, in this very special joint podcast featuring King Bucho and I. And we have a lot to talk about a lot of boxing this weekend, right, King Bucho?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, that is correct. Now we got the window open. It's a nice summer breeze outside. We haven't installed the AC in the BDA headquarters yet. I think Linda called the technicians. They're gonna be coming. Yeah, Linda, that's the technician. That's the assistant I just made up. And but man, we got a lot of boxing to talk about this weekend, man. Let's start out with HBO, baby. Terence Crawford taking on Felix Diaz in New York. First time Terence Crawford, or I mean, not the first time, but I mean the first time in a long time that he's fought outside of Nebraska. So, I mean, from what I hear, the numbers are very good right now for the attendance, the audience.
But it's true.
But nevertheless, it's an interesting fight.
Well, they're not promoting this event at all. They have the mini. Don't they have the mini like 24/7? How you call it? Like
the Road 2 or just a preview on HBO.
On YouTube. Is it even
Road
HBO?
2, right? It's
I don't even know.
Or they used to call it. Honestly, man, I don't even follow that anymore. The last Julio Chavez Canelo Road 2 was a little disappointing. I mean, no, it was good, but let's face it, it's not like the first 24/7s when it was really epic and they had interesting personalities. Now it's same old. But anyway, if they would have done a 24/7 for Terence Crawford-Felix Diaz, which is not a big fight, by the way, so I don't think they would have done it. How exciting is Terence Crawford in front of the camera, really?
That's a good point.
I mean, outside of the ring, he's getting into shenanigans, in mechanic shops and tire shops and bowling alleys. But other than that, when he's in front of the camera, he's not exactly...
He's like a Rigondeaux a bit.
A little bit, but at least you know what? He's far more exciting in the ring, which is what we're going to talk about. He's going to be taking on Felix Diaz. If you remember Felix Diaz, he took on Lamont Peterson and lost a competitive fight. And then he really impressed me by beating Sammy Vasquez Jr., who had impressed me before in a couple of his fights. But then Sammy Vasquez lost to Luis Collazo, so now I'm thinking, well, how good was Vasquez and how good is Felix Diaz?
Yeah, and Luis Collazo was coming off a 2-year layoff, I think.
Something like that.
Yeah, when he fought Vasquez, so then how good was Vasquez? Who the hell knows? But this main event, I just think Diaz. Diaz, yeah, Felix Diaz is too small.
He's very short, huh?
He's very short. And I think Crawford is going to have an easy 12-round win against him. I don't think he knocks him out, but I think he outboxes him.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking because, okay, let's look at Diaz. Like you said, he's short, but he's a gold medalist from the Olympics, 2008, I believe. He's slick. He's a southpaw. He's got good hand speed and good control at the distance, but he's not... I mean, Terence Crawford is just as fast. We saw against Yorkis Gamboa that another gold medalist...
Another short fighter?
Short fighter, yeah, shorter than Crawford. And Crawford just shut him down. Once he found the range and he was able to get in and out and Gamboa wasn't able to catch him, it was lights out. And Felix Diaz is not nearly as explosive or dynamic as Gamboa, although he seems to be more technically astute. But even then, like what I liked about him was when he fought Peterson, sometimes he was coming forward with his gloves up and sometimes he would move and make Peterson come to him. And then against Vasquez, it was southpaw against southpaw, and he really looked sharp in that fight. But Crawford he's taller, and he knows how to control the distance, and he knows how to switch hit and hit hard.
Yeah, hit hard.
Interesting thing is going to be, I think, the most interesting aspect of this fight is to see if Crawford wins, how good he looks, and whether he switches in during the fight. Because, like I said, Diaz is a southpaw, and I can't remember when was the last time Crawford actually switched southpaw against another southpaw of the level of Diaz.
Yeah. Good point. I don't think he's going to switch in this fight. But like I said, I do believe he's going to win easily. And my question is, if you're Crawford, do you try to impress in this fight? Or do you just go on cruise control and win what somebody would say is a smart thing, to just win the fight, cruising it? Or do you actually go for a knockout and try to impress? So that's going to be interesting.
That's a good point because against Postol, he boxed. He had to box against Postol. If he would have gone in there and tried to knock Postol out, he might have gotten...
But that was a pay-per-view. I mean, that was a fight he was supposed to impress and anything, but he actually did the Mayweather thing where like, well, I'm just going to play it safe and win. Mm-hmm. But is that going to pay off? That paid off against Mayweather, just cruising the fights because he was already so big and his 24/7s and all those pre-shows were so interesting because he was just showing off all his money and blah, blah, blah. That he could actually do this, Cruz, how do you say, like,
cruise through the fight.
Cruise through the fight,
mail it in, sort of. Well, not actually mail it in, because he's actually putting in the effort to outbox the guys.
But whatever, he was boring as fuck. He could have done more, and so he was able to do this, okay? But Terence Crawford cannot afford to do this because he's not charismatic outside the ring. So he has to do everything inside the ring. He has to impress inside the ring because there's nothing outside the ring. Mm-hmm. He has nothing outside the ring.
Good point. Everything that matters is in the ring.
Is in the ring, exactly. So does he actually go for a knockout here against Diaz? I think he should.
Well, that's the thing I like about Terence Crawford is that he can box when he has to, like against Postol. Like I said, I think it was a smart thing to box against Postol because if he would have barged forward, he would have gotten hit more. Could he have landed more punches if he would have gone forward and, like you said, created a more exciting fight? Maybe, but since he didn't try, we don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
But against Diaz, I mean, look, when he fights guys like Gamboa, Dirigeant, John Molina Jr.,
he's the other guy before Molina.
I always forget his name, man.
Lundy,
Hank Lundy, thank you.
He was also short, right?
Yeah, and fast-handed.
Fast-handed. What happened to him?
He got knocked
out. So I'm not saying just because he's short. I'm saying I don't know. It seems like Crawford can do very good against his fighter. He's 5'8", by the way. So
yeah, you're right. It's stylistically, even against. It's interesting. You would think, short. I mean, southpaw with fast hands and quick feet, and a gold medalist. Mm-hmm. You would think he's very hard, but Terence Crawford is just on another level right now. That even those type of guys aren't gonna give him too much trouble. Which brings us to the next point for Terence Crawford, which is that Bob Arum has been talking about. It seems from what he said that he still wants to make the fight between Pacquiao and Terence Crawford. Pacquiao seems not to be terribly interested in that fight from what he has said and done in the past, where there were negotiations. I mean, there was a lot of talk about a potential Crawford-Pacquiao fight, and then all of a sudden Pacquiao said, you know what, I'm going to fight Bradley. Or I think that was... But
let's be honest. We don't have any information. We don't have the details of what was going on in the negotiations. Maybe Crawford was asking for a lot of money. You know what? Maybe Pacquiao said, like, well, this isn't going anywhere. I'm going to fight Bradley for a third time.
Right.
He's going to retire soon. He needs to stay active. I mean, we don't know this thing.
Yeah, chicken fights don't come cheap, man. Rooster fights. I mean, you got to train these fucking roosters. You got to feed them grain. Pacquiao, I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So he needs his money, man.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, yeah, I understand. No, but we don't know. Yes, the negotiations didn't go anywhere, but we don't know why. So we shouldn't be because some people are always saying, "Oh, well, it was Pacquiao who decided not to fight Crawford," but we don't know what Crawford was asking for.
Very good point.
And these fighters these days, these young fighters, they think they're all superstars.
They think the world owes them everything.
Yeah, and they then look at Crawford. How many tickets has he's been selling for this fight?
That's fight. A good point. We're gonna see how
that's his power.
And let's see and let's see the ratings too. Open up the books.
The ratings too. Let's see the ratings. So I mean, we should come down. And we are not fucking. We don't have any connections with the promoters or anything. We don't have fucking Bob Arum's number, so we can't really talk about what was going on in those negotiations.
Good thing you didn't go into old man King Bucho mode, like where these kids these days they don't go. Because that's what you usually do. Yeah. But you're not drunk today, so that's why you didn't do it. Today, and it's not midnight. That's why I'm a little more energetic. Mm-hmm. Okay, so now Crawford-Pacquiao. First of all, do you even want to see the fight, a Crawford-Pacquiao fight? Would you be interested?
Absolutely, yes. Now, Bob Arum, his plan is obviously to pass down the torch.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm Pacquiao, I would be a little weary of this fight.
That's right. Because he's being set up to lose.
He's being set up to lose. Bob Arum is smart, and like I said, he wants to pass down the torch. So Pacquiao's probably like, I don't know. I want more money, and I don't... If this fight goes to a decision, in a close fight, it's gonna go for Crawford for sure.
That's true. Or I know this is... I'm stretching it here. I'm reaching. What if it's actually the contrary? The opposite? What if Bob Arum is looking to make a Mayweather-Pacquiao rematch? Now, hold on, bear with me. What if he's looking to make a Pacquiao-Mayweather rematch, and it's actually Crawford that's being set out there to make Pacquiao look good? In other words, like in Goodfellas, when and Joe Pesci's character, he thinks it's gonna get made, and then he steps in and they shoot him in the head.
Yeah.
What if it's something like? What if it's Terence Crawford that's actually being set up, I should say? No, am I stretching it too much here? Too much tinfoil conspiracy mode?
Yeah. Fuck, I don't know, man.
I think you're right. I think he does want to pass the torch, Bob Arum.
Yeah, because it's a long-term plan, long-term investment. Crawford's has more years ahead of him, and Pacquiao.
How old is Pacquiao, by the way?
38?
Jeez, can you believe?
I think so. Yeah, check.
I can still remember the first time he fought. We saw him when he fought Lelo Leduaba on the. What was it? There was a Deloya undercut. I remember, but I forget which one it was.
He had his hair dyed and shit.
Exactly, and now that I saw the clip recently again, and there was I think it's become a bit of a famous clip now where Jim Lampley doesn't even know how to spell his name. Manny Pacquiao. Bang. And then, but what I'm saying is, it's been a long time, and fuck, you're right, he's an old man now for boxing. He can still fight. He still beat guys like Jesse Vargas and Bradley, but
absolutely.
But like you said, if you're looking at it from an investment point of view, Terence Crawford has more upside. Let's move on now to the undercard, and I'm actually looking more forward to this undercard fight than the actual main event. Raymundo Beltran taking on Jonathan Maicelo. Let me tell you why this is an interesting fight. Maicelo looked very sharp and explosive against Jose Felix Jr. That was a fight, I think it was last year or this year, but he looks sharp. He's got good footwork, nice compact punches. He dropped Felix in the first round, went on to dominate him. Beltran, on the other hand, he's a guy that cut his teeth sparring at the wild card with Manny Pacquiao. He's a very skilled guy. He knows how to cut off the ring. He gave Crawford he lost the fight, but he wasn't. Crawford could knock him out like he did with the other guys like Hank Lundy and John Molina. So Beltran, I think, is the type of guy that you really have to be on the top of your game and one of the best fighters in the world to be able to beat him decisively. And it's gonna be interesting to see if Maicelo, who's on the up and up, to see if he can take Beltran out. I mean, it's gonna be a very exciting fight.
Who do you have in that fight? Oof. I go with Beltran. Just the experience.
He has the experience.
The resume, sparring
with Pacquiao.
Sparring with Pacquiao. Yeah.
And he's got the look, man. He looks like he owns like Southern California or something. Like he's been running it for a couple of years now.
Of course, man.
The Beltran cartel is coming. So it's an interesting fight, man. And also because the winner apparently is gonna be up in line for a title shot for Robert Easter Jr. Mm-hmm. And Robert Easter Jr., I'll have more to say about him later on during this podcast, but Beltran is an exciting fighter. Maicelo, as you're gonna see, he does fight. He's an entertaining fighter to watch too. A little more technical. He doesn't come forward as much, but man, it's gonna be a great fight. This one. Keep an eye on it. I think it's gonna deliver. Also on the undercard we have Shakur Stevenson, another prospect, Teofimo Lopez Jr. Don't really have much to say about prospects because at this point in their career they're just starting to develop as professionals. Yeah. You know they're not gonna struggle or lose. So, I mean, let's just keep an eye on them and see how good they are. Shakur Stevenson Jr., of course, is the one that everybody is raving about. So, we'll see what he has up his sleeve. On Showtime, on the other hand, across the street, Gary Russell Jr. taking on Oscar Escandon. Now, Escandon, King Bucho, what do you think about this guy?
Escandon?
Yeah. You think he's going to give Gary Russell Jr. a tough fight, considering that he's 5'1.5"?
He's very short. I don't think I've ever seen a fighter that short in the featherweight division, especially for but
5'1".
I think he's just too small. I mean, yeah,
he looks tough. I mean, he's
Russell's
a tough guy.
He's fast as hell.
But that's the thing.
He's too fast.
He's gonna look like Tommy Hearns there compared to Escandon. I can tell you that much right now. So, but Escandon, I've seen him fight. He comes forward. He tries to dig to the body. He's a tough guy, especially going in there when you're so short. You gotta have heart if you would have made it. If you have made it to this point in the professional ranks. So, but let's see. The interesting question is, barring an upset, Gary Russell Jr. is poised to win, right?
Yes.
And he's in the featherweight division right now.
Yes.
Is this nothing more than a setup to see who he fights next, which could either be a Santa Cruz or a Carl Frampton or a Lee Selby? Maris.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a fight for Russell Jr. to win impressively, and then set up a big fight. And I'm looking at the names here, like Leo Santa Cruz. Now, is he fighting Carl Frampton? Yes or no? Because that's what we all thought that their fight happened in January.
The first one or the
second one?
The second was in January. Yes.
We're in May now.
We're in May, and they haven't even
announced anything.
Not
yet.
A peep.
What the fuck?
Or maybe we haven't searched hard enough, right? On Google to see. If
I checked, and I haven't seen any news on that. So what I'm saying is, okay, Russell Jr. Can we start, or can we say that, well, after this fight, he's gonna fight Leo Santa Cruz or Carl Frampton? Can we already, or can we say that Leo Santa Cruz is gonna fight Carl Frampton this year?
Jesus Christ, I don't know. Maybe you've
Mares,
got
Abner Mares.
Heyman on the line.
See, well, that's the thing. Abner Mares. Any news on Abner Mares?
You know, I don't like to talk about the PBC because everything
you can't predict anything with the PBC.
Exactly. There's no astrology here.
And there's no news about like anything.
No. Every once in a while they'll send you a they'll send the media press release, and that's how we get our news from the internet. But other than that, he doesn't take calls from anybody, Uncle Al. So good luck trying to figure out what the schedule is.
Okay, well then let's talk about, since we cannot predict anything, who would like to see him fight next?
I tell you what. Santa Cruz really impressed me in the Frampton rematch. He showed good reflexes, a control of the distance.
I told you. Remember I told you that first fight. I don't know if he threw that jab.
Mm-hmm.
I know everybody says always throw the jab. Like
exactly,
it's easy. Throw the jab. He's gonna win the fight. No, but he's taller. Mm-hmm. He's way fucking taller than Carl Frampton, and he did exactly what he was supposed to do in the first fight that I was telling you, man.
Do you know what? If there's a will, there's a way. And that's why I always say, I've never believed this old adage of, a leopard's too old to change its spots. First of all, we're not leopards.
He's not that old.
Exactly. And first of all, we're not leopards. We're human beings. Although I've seen some people on the internet that think they're animals. Did you see those, the animals? But for all intents and purposes, you
have to respect them because...
Shut up. We're not going to talk about that. We're not animals, we're human beings, and if we want to change, we can change if you try hard enough. And Santa Cruz, first of all, it's easy to change if you got skills. And like you said, in the first fight, he did show he had skills. He just Frampton, he didn't know how to do it exactly.
Yeah.
Once he went in the rematch, he showed skills. So what I'm trying to say is, if he fights Gary Russell Jr., who has faster hands than Frampton, although not as hard a puncher as Frampton, but could Gary Russell Jr. outbox Santa Cruz, or vice versa? Like, how would Santa Cruz fight Gary Russell Jr.? Would he go old school Santa Cruz and put pressure?
Yeah, that's a good question. Maybe he should go old school Santa Cruz and put that pressure on him. Because let's be honest, Carl Frampton, he's good at, he kind of like those little brawls that were happening in the first fight. And I think he was expecting the same thing to happen in the second fight. So then when he got, he got like, shocked, when he saw, Carl Frampton, Santa Cruz's plan, he didn't know what the fuck to do. But again, going back to your question, yes, I believe Santa Cruz shouldn't do what he did against Frampton, fight from the outside. He should actually do the opposite and actually put the pressure on Gary Russell Jr. Because can Gary Russell Jr. take some pressure like that?
We haven't really seen it. I mean, the most pressure I've seen was when he fought Lomachenko, and Lomachenko wasn't coming forward non-stop.
He was different.
It's a different type of pressure. But
that's a good question.
Also, I think Gary Russell would be able to outbox Mares because I don't think Mares can go high octane for 12 rounds. Mares that's always been one of his faults. He gasses a little bit. He can put good pressure in the beginning, but then he started. Now he did beat. I remember what was the name of that southpaw Moreno?
I was gonna say that shit, man.
That was a good fight that I thought it was gonna be very, very tough, and then it turned out that
he didn't really gas that much in that fight.
No, not really.
I was surprised.
Al Bernstein kept saying that he was hurt. Remember?
What's up with Al Bernstein against his
Mares?
Comments against Mares, man?
You know what I think?
Guys, if you're watching Abner Mares fight and Al Bernstein is commentating, watch what Al Bernstein always says, man.
I think? I think he's always hated. Well, not hated. I'm not gonna say hated, but I think
the low blows.
The low blows, yes. Remember Russell Mora and
against
Agbeko.
Agbeko, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Al Bernstein ever forgave him. But listen, hey, was it Abner Mares' fault that? It's also I would blame more the ref. Well, actually, no, I wouldn't blame the ref because he's not the one hitting Agbeko in the balls. So, no, I think Al Bernstein may have a point, but he's supposed to be objective here. He's an announcer.
Yeah.
Al Bernstein, man. What's the matter with you? Anyway, Gary Russell Jr. Escandon. Oh, and also, hey, a semi-good undercard here. We got Jose Uzcategui taking on Andre Dirrell. Uzcategui, you might remember him from a couple years ago when he got outboxed by Matt Komarov on HBO. Ever since then, he's fought a couple of French contenders. He's looked good against them, knocked them out or decisioned them. But Dirrell he's gonna be the fastest guy he's ever fought. And the other thing I like about Dirrell is that he's got heavy hands. So it's gonna be an interesting fight when you get a guy like Uzcategui who's young and he's always improving. But Andre Dirrell, man, I don't know if he's gonna be too much of a physical force for him. That being said, Dirrell has to be one of the most physically talented fighters that I've seen. Great reflexes, great hand speed, decent power, and he has an amateur pedigree to go along with it. But man, it seems like just yesterday that he had come off the 2004 Olympics. That was 13 years ago, man. And what has he done? His biggest accomplishment so far was beating Arthur Abraham, and even then that was a clusterfuck of
Two fights with Sakio Bika.
2 fights. No, actually, no, that was Anthony Dirrell.
Oh, you're right.
We're talking. You always confuse the two.
I was confused.
Andrew Dirrell.
Yeah, that's why I was like, okay, so
so Andrew Dirrell.
Anthony's the best one, no?
I don't know about that. I mean, well, like I said,
Best resume.
In terms of potential, Andrew Dirrell had it all, man. He looked like he was gonna be, but he disappeared, man. Especially after the Arthur Abraham fight. That's the one where you just go, what? He's, Andrew Dirrell reminds me a lot of Nate Campbell, Victor Ortiz, Zab Judah. He's like I started stuttering there for a minute. He's like a 168-pound version of what was the name of the guy who beat Eric Morales 12 years ago? Oh, come on. Can't believe. How do we forget this name so much, man? Zahir Rahim. Zahir Rahim. He's a lot like Zahir Rahim because when somebody puts the pressure on him, he starts slipping, he starts looking for the ref for help, he starts running. Watch the Zahir Rahim Acelino Freitas fight from 2006, almost the same way. And Dirrell has everything to be a top contender, if not the champ. And he hasn't done it, man. It's like, it's frustrating to watch a guy like that. Wasted potential, man. But now, King Butcher, you take at the 168-pound ratings. Mm-hmm. Now that Badu Jack is about to leave or left already, I think he's going to be campaigning at 175 now. The door is wide open for Andrew Dirrell to take away. I mean, the number one guy right now is James DeGale.
Yeah.
They already tangoed once.
Yeah.
And DeGale dropped and NBC, and DeGale dropped Dirrell and everything. But it was a competitive fight. DeGale sort of like lost a little steam afterwards, although Dirrell could never capitalize. If Dirrell gets serious, I think he has the physical tools to beat anybody at 168.
Whoa, anybody?
Everybody. Well, look who's there.
Yeah, you're right. We should open up the rankings here.
Well, I'm looking
that Mexican guy is not even that good, man.
That Mexican guy. Have a little respect. Gilberto Ramirez.
Gilberto.
Okay, but yeah, look, you're looking at the ratings, right?
Yeah.
James DeGale. They already tangoed once, but I think it's a winnable fight for Dirrell.
Yes.
If he's really serious about shit. Gilberto Ramirez, too slow, although he does hit hard and it is improving. George Groves is a good guy, very skilled, but
gasses out.
He does gas out? I don't know. Against Badu Jack? Yeah.
Man, come on, this guy, that's why he always loses. He always lost against Froch.
But I don't remember if
he fucking gasses.
Did he gas against Badu Jack as well? Because he gave Badu Jack a
no, he just got destroyed by
No, he didn't get destroyed by Badu Jack. But so yeah, looking at the ratings, we got Callum Smith at number 5, according to Ring Magazine. Anthony Dirrell, of course, they're never gonna fight. That is Andrew Dirrell and Anthony, because they're brothers. Arthur Abraham, who Dirrell already beat, and can you believe it? It was 7 years ago or 8 years ago during the Super 6. That's his biggest win so far. The Abraham. No, wait a minute. How did he win the title, Dirrell? That he lost to DeGale. Who the fuck did he?
Blake. Oh yeah.
No, not Blake Caparello.
After the DeGale fight.
I know, but who did Dirrell beat for? Carfront, Derek Edwards. It was for the vacant.
Yeah,
so he never actually won a I'm telling you, man, this Andrew Dirrell, every time I look at his record, I go, and I see him fight, I go, why haven't you done more, you stupid... fuck, I'm telling you, man, wasted potential. That's why I hate myself, because all this potential that I have, and hasn't gone anywhere, man. Okay, hey.
Yes.
So, we got that division wide open, man. And
you know the tournament.
The Richard Schaefer tournament?
Yes.
What about
it? Called the Richard Schaefer.
That's what I call it, man.
Holy shit, what's his name?
Richard Schaefer.
No, I know he's
Nico Kessler.
The tournament has a fucking name.
I don't give a fuck about the name.
That Champions League. The champ.
It's not gonna be called.
I think it's some people who made.
But what about it?
Anyways, they announced that they're gonna be making a super middleweight tournament.
No shit.
And a cruiserweight tournament. And it's 8 fighters in each division. Mm-hmm. And Schaefer is claiming that there's already all these fighters are they're clamoring. They want to be.
Are they top? Yeah, but I mean.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Are they top fighters?
Who
or
knows?
guys
That's the
from-
thing.
That's what I'm saying.
But
Like,
there's a lot of money involved. I mean, there is money involved.
we got all these top fighters. Meanwhile, it's like guys from the Midwest.
$50 million split into two, like the whole thing. So
That's a good chunk of change right there for everybody involved.
Well, we'll see what happens. Anyways, just remember that shit.
But yeah, that's all I want to say about Dirrell. That was my little Dirrell rant. That the guy's good, but it's,
wasted potential.
how many guys
talent.
exactly? How many guys do you see come along that have that the whole package of talent-wise that he does? I'm not talking necessarily skills. I'm talking talent, physical talent, things that you're born with, like reflexes, hand speed. Moving on, Rances Barthelemy also on the Showtime card. Rances Barthelemy taking on Kirill Relikh from Belarus. Relikh, if you've never seen him fight, he's a pressure fighter from Europe. He's a hard puncher, not necessarily fast. He holds his hands down a little bit every time he punches. And like I said, he's a come-forward fighter, which is what Barthelemy loves. Now, King Bucho, when was the last time you saw a Cuban fighter, tall for his division, good hand speed, but who prefers to fight on the inside rather than box from the outside?
Never.
Never? Well, I mean, there must have been a couple
The only
of
Cuban that I know that doesn't fight really Cuban style is Luis Ortiz.
Luis and Unieski Gonzalez,
Yes.
who throws bombs rather than box. But Rances Barthelemy, he's an exciting fighter. He always delivers fights because he fights on the inside, especially against Mickey Bay. I thought before the fight, I said, man, he's probably going to have to box Mickey Bay. It's going to be an interesting fight because it's two boxers with hand speed. And no, actually, it turned out to be that Barthelemy loves to fight on the inside. So this fight, it's two come-forward guys. I predicted maybe Barthelemy might eat Relikh up because he's the type of fighter that he loves to fight. Just a short guy that's not terribly fast of either a foot or hand speed. So I think Barthelemy is gonna take this one. But like I said, Relikh is a puncher, although he's never knocked out anybody of note. But we're gonna see. It's gonna be an exciting fight. The fight that I'm looking forward to, however, and that I haven't really read anybody talk about or heard anybody talk about, is Barthelemy versus Robert Easter Jr. Two tall guys who don't care about using the reach advantage and would rather slug it out on the inside. That would be a fight. When's the last time you saw two tall guys like him, like them, boxing on the inside?
How tall is Vargas? This is a super featherweight, right?
This is lightweight. They're lightweight.
Lightweight.
Vargas.
I was talking about.
But anyway, look, what I'm saying is Barthelemy versus Robert Easter Jr., that would be like watching two Brachiosaurus fighting. So remember those dinosaurs with the long necks? That's what it's going to be like. It's going to be, if you took Diego Corrales and create a clone and put him up against each other, they're fireworks, that fight. It's going to be fireworks. It's fireworks waiting to happen. If PBC really knew what they were doing, they would make that fight, man, because that's one that I'm telling you.
I doubt PBC knows anything about boxing.
Let's review and the PBC
Showtime starts at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific.
Now, is that the Showtime Extreme undercard with Cruz Stevenson? And
no, that's the whole card.
What?
I think they did it on purpose so they don't know.
Wait. You talking Eastern Time or?
No, yeah, it's Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific on Showtime.
Wow.
Gervonta Davis will make his first world title defense against Liam Walsh.
So they're not going to overlap with HBO all that much then?
Fairway world champion. No.
All right, good. Now, let's end this because we're going a little bit overboard here and we're starting to sound like drunks. Gervonta Davis taking on Liam Walsh in England. Mm-hmm. Now, what do you say about that? A young guy who just won a championship and he's willing to go up on the road.
I applaud that because there's not a lot of fighters that go to the UK. But now, that's the thing in boxing now. If you want to make money, you're gonna have to start traveling to the UK because that's where the money's at now. Well, not all the money, but a big chunk of it. So yeah, I applaud that. That's very good. Also, sort of like when the Gary Russell Spence, holy shit, Errol Spence fighting in the UK also against Kell Brook. That's also something we should applaud.
It is, man. Well, not everybody does it nowadays. Especially, like I said, a young guy who just won his championship. I'm telling you, Gervonta Davis was the last guy I expected to say, you know what, first defense, I'm going abroad. I'm going overseas. I'm going to take on a guy in his hometown. I
also think, well, they need the money. And Floyd Mayweather is not doing much with his fighters.
Well, we're going to get to Floyd in a second. Stylistically, the fight... It's going to be very interesting. The Gervonta Davis, for all his power and athleticism, isn't all that hard to hit. Pedraza was able to catch him a couple of times, remember? Mm-hmm. And Liam Walsh is a sneaky fighter. He's sleek, he's crafty, He's a switch hitter. He knows how to roll with punches. He sets up his offense nicely. Maybe not that big a puncher as Davis, but like I said, Davis can get hit, and that's all you really need in order to be outboxed. And Liam Walsh just has to find him and keep moving, or in order to outbox him or to outwork him. Now, what did you want to say about Mayweather? Because there was a little riff there a couple of days, or today. Was it yesterday or today?
I think it was. I don't know, but I'm gonna make a video on that.
Oh, you're gonna make a video on that?
Yeah.
Okay, so you just make me look like an idiot by introducing.
No, well, basically the Walsh brothers were confronting Mayweather, and they were asking him, like, why didn't you fight outside Las Vegas? Why didn't you fight outside Las Vegas? They kept repeating the same thing, and then Floyd Mayweather, who's standing behind his bodyguards, he's like, his response is, "You're pussies. Shut up, you're pussies. I beat 23 world champions. You're pussies." He kept repeating the same thing. He looked like shocked. He looked like a
he didn't
robot. He didn't expect it,
man.
He didn't know what to say.
Now, I have a question. Why did the Walshes go after him?
I have no idea. I don't give a fuck. But it was a legitimate question. It's a question that a lot of people have been asking. And we just saw what Mayweather's response would be.
Mm-hmm. I'm not going to address what you're saying. Yeah.
And pussy, like a 5-year-old. I mean, yeah. I was thinking we should make a video about this, man.
Maybe we should. Now, let me tell you something. I didn't like the way you said the Walsh brothers, as if you're from the neighborhood and you know them. Oh, there go the Walsh brothers.
No, the video said the Walsh brothers.
Shut up.
I don't know.
You fucked up. No, but yeah, man, like Mayweather, I mean, like you said, make a video about it if you want, but I don't understand why they went after Mayweather in the first place. I mean, that's also a little sign there. Hey, let's create a little controversy. Let's go after Mayweather, who still has a name, to create some buzz for this fight.
Well, it's not like Mayweather hasn't been putting his face all over the fucking fight.
That's true. Fair point.
I've been seeing these interviews. There's Davis, and then there's Mayweather sitting next to him. So he wants to be in there and promoting the fight. He's going to be part of the promotion.
Like I always say, publicity is a double-edged sword.
What the fuck?
No, it's just that's the new me. That's the one that says all these old-timey expressions, but it's supposed to be lame, of course. You didn't have to point that out. So it's going to be a jam-packed weekend. And we didn't even get to talk about David Benavidez versus Porky Medina. Hassan N'Dam taking on Ryota Murata, the Japanese power puncher. We also got Naoya Inoue taking on Ricardo Rodriguez. Inoue, of course, the guy that everybody's saying is going to dominate the lower weight divisions. That's all happening this weekend. Although Inoue, that's in Japan, so I don't know exactly the time.
Oh, yeah. Should be in the morning.
It's listed as being in Sunday. So if it's Sunday here, that means over there is what?
If it's Sunday there, it's Saturday here.
But why does ESPN cite it as Sunday then? ESPN's on the boxing schedule, they have it as Sunday. They should be Saturday, right? Because here it should be whatever.
Oh my god, you look a fucking reader.
Hey, who cares about what's going on in Japan? I care about what's going on right here at home. People are dying, all right? People are dying on the streets. All right. So yeah, people, that was a BDA podcast featuring King Bucho and I, the nameless one. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Please keep commenting, subscribing, watching the videos. Tell us what you want to see. What type of film analysis do you want to see? What type of, do you want to make? And leave your own comments. Also, keep leaving comments. I want to see a discussion there. I want to see a discussion fermenting. I want it to be grueling and interesting, but exciting. All right, guys? So keep it up, and we will see you. Oh, wait, hold on.
What?
On the part of King Bucho and I, we will see you on the next one.